Cyberpunk theory that I 100% believe. Rosalind Myers nerfed V on purpose. In the tower ending, V has the option to contact Solomon Reed. The NUSA has an offer for V that could
For hundreds of years, the two chubby mountain gods hadn't moved an inch from their place. The reason was a magical tablecloth they kept, a piece of cloth that could produce all kinds of delicious dishes on its own. Gradually, their lives became limited to just eating. They would eat all the time. When their stomachs were full, they'd lie down, and as soon as they woke up, they'd start eating again. Roman was thrilled to see this. He wanted to borrow the magical tablecloth for a little while, but that tablecloth was the gods' main lifeline. They got all their food from it, so how could they easily lend it to anyone? Angrily, one of the mountain gods grabbed a coconut lying nearby and threw it at Roman's head. He said, "Anyone with even a bit of sense would never make such a foolish request." The coconut hit him hard, and Roman fell unconscious. That's when Emilia had to step forward herself. With cleverness, she revealed the gods' true appearance to them. As soon as the plump gods saw their reflection in the mirror, they were stunned. Once handsome, radiant, and powerful, they now looked fat, sluggish, and clumsy. Seeing this filled them with deep shame and regret. They thought, to regain their old form and strength, they'd have to lose weight. So they gave the magical tablecloth to Emilia, so they could free themselves from the temptation. But as soon as the tablecloth left them, they felt great pain, as if someone had stabbed their hearts with a knife. Their eyes couldn't leave the tablecloth, and when they saw it going away, they regretted it and tried to chase after it. But their heavy bodies couldn't carry them out of the valley. They remained inside, weeping and writhing in sorrow. Meanwhile, back in town, Roman spread the tablecloth in the market. He started sharing the delicious food it produced with everyone. The poor townspeople were overjoyed. Smiles returned to their faces. Roman became everyone's favorite, their beloved hero. Even the king saw this and was very pleased. He thought that a young man like Roman was the most worthy suitor for the princess. But seeing all this filled the princess with jealousy. She ground her teeth in anger, for she already had someone else in her heart. When Roman came to her with a marriage proposal, the princess set yet another difficult condition. "If you can bring permission from my late mother in heaven, and she says yes to our marriage, only then will I marry you." Even this impossible condition didn't faze Roman. Smiling, he accepted it, and, together with his friend Emilia, set out once again on a thrilling new adventure. For hundreds of years, the two chubby mountain gods had
Emilia. The fuck? This?
Huh? Wait, that's Saber. Who's that?
This is quite the awkward
Fuck
situation.
everything in that direction.
I haven't heard a single word of welcome.
See, technique of Macy. See that direction? I don't want that anymore.
Are you associated with the old men of the mountain, perhaps? Marvelous! It seems my comparison was not to your taste. Even so, what an excellent display of skill.
Return to my duties at the Baroness.
I swear to fuck Grey Talon.
So you're back with the Baxter Society?
No.
So this is...
Me too.
Personal.
Fair enough.
If you're looking for the remarkable, you've come to the right place.
Why? Honestly, why is Hayes and Talon in mid? This is terrible. Dynamo, you should switch with me or Talon. Or Geist.
I mean, I can go mid if you want. You want to fight a Billy?
I really want Dynamo over here, honestly.
Alright, Dynamo's mid with you if you want to come over
They
here.
will know what it
Talon,
feels to be
switch with them,
helpless.
switch with them. Switch with him. Go blue, go yellow. Thanks, man.
Exquisite.
I gotta buy.
Pragmatic, stylish, I love it.
They'll never see me coming. Pocket is on the move. Sweet dreams. I'll be right back.
Be right back. Translocating.
Pocket behind us.
Time for applied science. I'll be right back.
Sucker's back.
We live in interesting times, don't we?
Nap time. You had your fun. Now it's time to pay.
Alright, coming back to yellow, Talon.
You guys got Guardian over there, huh? That's crazy.
We did. We bullied the shit out of them.
I knew that switch was good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that link switch was a great idea.
Oh my god! I can't go up at all. They'll punish me every time. I'm super weak right now too.
Mirage is missing.
They've taken our blue guardian.
Passage.
I'm gonna go farm. Damn, boxes aren't even up.
You're delightful, Calico. Mighty Viper. I will strengthen you. Our blue walker is under attack.
Billy's around here somewhere.
Mid-boss has arrived.
Need help on Greenwich.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed. They've taken our yellow guardian.
On the move.
Our yellow guardian is under attack.
We're back. I'm just getting started.
I need help, I need help, thank you. Holy fuck, Calico.
You're okay.
My eyes are set on them.
Be bold.
Green.
I will dance, and they will die.
7. You got it, alright.
The shadows embrace me.
Our blue walker is under attack.
I see the enemy.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
Thank you. see that little
Mirage,
brat.
the doorman's missing.
Be right back.
I can't believe I get to sell my wares to a bona fide dream stalker. The boys ain't gonna believe it.
They need more voice lines for the shopkeeper. I'm so tired of hearing the same thing over and over again.
Every single one of them will die.
I see the enemy.
I'll slip through them.
They'll come. Probably.
Be still. They could be anywhere.
Bring your enemies low.
Headed to Broadway.
Blue Walker is under attack.
Help me deliver this thing. Good night. It took a dynamo. Oh, no one's getting in our way.
An Oathkeeper fight is won.
Soldier, not a martyr. Let's push. I see, Pocket.
Our Blue Walker is under attack.
You think you're clever, but you're only delaying the inevitable.
Let's teach him a lesson 7. Okay, never mind. I think we're alright. But I love the effort. I love the effort.
I'll dance through my enemies.
You are gonna be the only one left standing, Hayes.
Just a plan, baby girl.
Our Yellow Walker is under attack.
Time for you.
I don't know what I was doing. I'm 3 and 5? Oh my gosh.
Push green. Need help on blue.
I will bolster your mind and
No one will bar my path.
You wanna buy a mug to go with your gun?
I see the enemy.
our blue walker is under attack. The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
I see the enemy.
Yellow walker is under attack.
Don't.
They destroyed our blue walker.
I'm
The
going.
urn has been dropped.
Fantasy.
The jobs they took out Talon. Mirage is right there. Your will, fools. No mercy.
Mwah.
They won't see me until it's too late.
Should have gotten mid off like that.
Let's go mid.
Be there in a second.
Only the cunning will survive. I see that little brat. Good night.
Oh, I don't know about this anymore.
They're all
idea was that?
Our yellow walker is under attack.
Green walker. You guys need to pay
They've
attention
taken
to
our
your
yellow
minivan.
walker.
We just spawned in, homie.
The walker on Greenwich. The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Good job.
Slay them and grow strong.
I go where I wish. Mirage is right there. You can't run from fate. Only the cunning will survive. Another falls.
Haze is
Mirage.
coming for them.
Well done. Let's push York.
Such finesse, Haze.
Y'all see that?
I'll slip through them. Be still. Today there will be a reaping.
Taking aim.
Back up.
Let's see what you catch, my friend.
Someone's gotta stay yellow. Keep them out of those guardians.
There is knocked.
I see Viper.
Evading target.
Don't go in there, Talon.
Sending arrow.
Don't go in there.
It's dangerous here. I'll find them. You took down Calico.
That's right, show them your old lady power.
blue, blue. Back to yellow, back to yellow. 7, stay blue. Go back blue, 7. 7, you gotta go blue. 7, oh my god. You guys have a big ass fucking map on the bottom right. You can see everything I see. Good girl. Yeah, you good girl.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed. Such blessings I shall give. Mid-boss has arrived.
Today, you're making history.
Now they see me.
Oh, a lot of them blue.
They took our gun. Death comes freedom. Nothing to me. This isn't the way for the Jinn to get what they want.
Let's go mid.
Let's go mid.
Yeah. I'm gonna clear green real quick. And I'll meet you there.
They will sleep and they will die.
Your enemies hated you before. They're really gonna be pissed now.
They took him down. They took out 7.
Yo, why do we keep getting countered mid?
The Rejuvenator is descending.
They're getting that again.
They will press their advantage, and we must be ready.
That's GG's.
No, have faith, my friend. Have faith.
Alright, hold it down then.
We're holding it down.
You can't stop. You won't walk away from me. You won't walk away from me.
Return, and we must be ready.
Push that shit down right by the guardian.
There's no escape.
Fuck, that damage is insane. 7 has ult too. pray he pops it correctly.
Progressing further. Protect the stronghold.
Holding it down.
You can't stop this.
GG's.
Better not have D ranks from that. Alright, this dog probably wants to go potty.
Here's Cyberpunk Fun Fact 23. Cyberpunk clowns are real, but they're more terrifying than you can imagine. Remember Ozob from 2077? You know, that man with the grenade nose who got this genuine reaction from Female V?
Oh.
Well, what if I said his presence may point to something big, bigger than Panam's jeans? It's a gang we'll see in Cyberpunk 2. Meet the Bozos. They're the violent body-sculpted Night City clowns who take pranking to a whole new level. And they're not lying down whoopee cushions or throwing Chinese firecrackers, no. They're vlogging cartel-like executions, attacking the biggest edge-runner bars, and popping out of sewers to kidnap innocents. They're Pennywise if he had Diddy-like tendencies. And they're divided into multiple circuses, the results of the great prank of Hilaria 45. See, Big Top is the ringleader who thought the pranks were getting stale, so he had sent 6 boxes to key Night City locations, and the brightest sent to N54, containing a human nose, a note, and a photo of a bozo smiling. The note read, "The nose is split," and the 5 other boxes, carefully placed to explode and spread synth coke as far as the nose can smell. It was a strike against all the other bozos, challenging them to out-prank him. Estimates suggest hundreds of new addicts were created that day, and the formula was more potent than anything the NCPD had seen. The bozos are now tied in an all-out war to outprank each other, and each one is getting more deadly every. Here's
That's fucking hilarious. No way. I mean, yes way, but.
Welcome to our new shop.
This is in LA.
When we started Big Time, one of the things that we wanted to do was to make sure that we owned the thing that we were doing. And a big part of that is to own a space that you rent.
Yeah, now be that as it may, we found the perfect place for Big Time. We found a 6,000 square foot warehouse in the heart of downtown LA. And it's perfect for us. It's honestly a dream scenario. I can't even believe that we're here. Thinking back to moving here for a while, it's crazy.
It's so tall, I'm never gonna hit my head on anything ever again. But you know what, Job? I'm starting to think, well, what happened to your space?
What did happen to my space? Roll the footage. So it's Tuesday morning and there's a casual knock at my door. I walk up and it's the fire department.
Ding dong.
No, they were yelling fire department.
LA County Fire Department, anybody in the residence?
Well, I was like, oh, what's up, guys? Who is not very happy with me because there are apparently 8 55-gallon drums of race fuel in my driveway.
That's pretty cool, man. 8 55-gallon drums of fuel, 3,000 pounds of just 110 leaded octane just sitting there on the driveway. It's pretty sick. Yeah. Okay, so you got some cool fuel. What's the problem here?
Well, you know, apparently in Los Angeles, you can only have 10 gallons of fuel at your residence, and
California, dude.
Yeah.
What the heck?
My neighbors weren't too stoked on the, I mean,
Fuck no, you're gonna burn down the neighborhood.
and just the huge, like, flammable logos on a ton of fuel in the driveway. Apparently, the fire department got 3 calls within like an hour of them being here.
Yeah.
So they rolled up
sure.
pretty angry with me.
And this is what this son of a bitch did. He goes, "Hey, I got someone who wants to talk to you." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then it's, "Hey, this is Deputy blah, blah, blah. Fire department. We got a real big problem here, buddy."
We got a real fucking
I was
big
like,
problem
okay,
here.
what's the problem?
Someone like
What
me.
the fuck am I right
Come
now?
on,
This
we're a
can't be
couple of
real.
Tough broads who kill people for money.
I kill people for money.
This is not my character. This is not what I chose.
You kill people for a pack of cigarettes and a hot
I
meal
maybe
when
play
they're
this
thin.
character
come on,
a
you're
total
sounding a
of
little classist
half
there,
of the
see?
time, and then I quit
I'm
out
sounding
because
a
it
lot
was one of those
classist
games
because
I
I'm
didn't have to play.
nothing like you.
So anyway, it's personal with this Haze. Because that's my character. How dare she? Okay.
They're not even ready for what's coming their way.
What do I build into bullet or spirit? What do I do with this guy? Someone tell me. I know you have mics in here. I know you do. Speak up. Slide. What? Oh no. Oh, because it's a lizard. Oh my god. Calico baby, help me.
In the mood for something magical, I see.
All part of the plan, I'm sure.
Come back if you need anything else.
You're cool, you're cool. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Die? No, you didn't. Why'd you leave? Bro, come on. You gotta stay in the lane. Still.
Tell you what, I'll throw in a free keychain.
life before.
That's gonna help keep your blood on the inside.
The dog right where I want yeah, I don't fight fair.
I don't want to die.
I'm sorry, I thought these guys were supposed to be tough. Leaping.
You'll be the last one standing.
Where you going, pal? Learn this trick in Jersey. They took out Calico.
My mistake. Headed to York.
They've taken our Green Guardian. Mid-boss has arrived.
Motion. Your Gorgon special.
Our Yellow Walker is under attack. It's waiting to be claimed.
York needs help.
They took out Mirage.
Thank you for your aid.
Wake up. We're about to get got. No, I can't wait to try this on folks.
They've destroyed the Guardian on Blue.
No way! No way!
Our Yellow Walker is under attack.
There's no way that you put slime in there when Haze was ulting.
Headed to Greenwich.
Like, that was my imagination, right?
You gotta find joy in the little things. Is he doesn't know better, so he'll definitely trust me later.
I'm leaving you.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
You wanna play, buddy?
Let's take out Haze.
We're having fun now. Where you go?
Is under attack.
Easy breezy. Hey, this is why the patrons want me.
Alright, maybe I do like Viper.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
You did not just steal my kill for no reason, huh?
This is more fun than a Philly prison riot.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
People. This never gets old.
Let's go big.
Our blue walker is under attack.
you get, Hayes, for picking my character.
Don't mess with me. Up in the stone.
Get him, Yamato. There goes our Yellow Walker.
They destroyed our Yellow Walker.
Somebody come green with me so we can get this walker.
They took out Mirage. We make a hell of a team, don't we?
Had to fall back, Yamato.
Well, someone's looking to make a statement.
I fell back.
I'll cut you up.
Our Yellow Walker, or Blue Walker. I need to heal before I can go there.
I hope they bunch up.
Stay safe out there.
Go Yellow, Mirage.
The Ixion needs to be stopped before it's too late. Our blue wall.
Feel their levels in Philly. Doesn't matter how good you think you are, life catches up with you eventually. Nice job. These cops, man, when are they gonna learn? this up.
Our Blue Walker is under attack.
I need help over here.
Headed to yellow.
You got her, I think, with your passive.
Stop until they're dead.
I think we gotta stick together, Yamato.
Hitting people with a rock always, it just makes me feel better.
Headed to yellow.
No, let's go kill that guy. You heard him? Yamato. He gave it up.
The old Gorgon special. We make a hell of a team, don't we?
Let's go mid.
Yamato, there's a huge orb underneath you. To your left. Nah, it's somewhere else. It's like going towards mid-boss. In like the... No, not in there. Wherever we killed, what's his dick? Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
こんなところで死ぬわけにはいかん。
You gotta go, yellow yam.
Headed to York.
I'm coming towards you, Yamato.
Time to go flying.
Need that venom to kick in. Petrify.
Headed to Greenwich.
I'll be right back.
I believe you're missing.
We gotta go yellow, Yamato. They're gonna lose it. Or do you want to take this tower?
Don't let the professor live. We only have one shrine left.
This is GG's.
We need to stop them from progressing further.
Hit refresher.
Turns out morality is subjective.
Two losses in a row. Oh my god.
I don't get why Wraith won't buddy if you think.
I ain't about that life anymore.
Why though? Why? Why can't I just sit in here and wait for it? I have to do that. I have to do that.
You one of my regulars, aren't you?
That's fucking ridiculous, man. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I don't want to play anything else. I want to play Haze.
We got 4,000 pounds of fuel sitting out here, and you know that's not allowed. And I was like, well, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not there. So.
Well, at first they told me to put it all in the garage, which those things were 380 pounds a piece. So I'm struggling trying to move them. And then they come back and yell at me to get them back out of the garage. They're like, no, that's a hazard. I was like, that's what I thought. You told me to put it in.
Yeah.
And they're like,
That's
no,
what
you
I
gotta
thought.
get them out.
So what we ended up having to do is, luckily the guys at Sunoco, I was like, hey, can you guys pick this stuff back up and take it to a facility where it can be properly stored? Because what we were gonna do is just...
What I was gonna do would have done.
LAFD, LAPD, and hazmat radar that day.
Yeah. But
I
I
do
think
this
all
every
in
fucking
all,
time
that
for
is
this
just
faggot ass
kind
shit.
of the, as the saying goes, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Your landlord probably wasn't particularly happy about 3,000 pounds of fuel getting dumped off here. Whether it was dangerous or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's the
I mean,
optics of it.
realistically, like, if you look at all these cars parked right here, there's 3,000 gallons of fuel all around us.
Yeah, but it's still, you know, a residential neighborhood, and I think we've gotten to the point to where it's just been, you know, one thing after another with annoying people at your place of sleep. This is a place of business that doesn't necessarily need to be a place of business anymore because we're outgrowing the space.
Yeah, but honestly, that was always really the plan. I mean, doing this at my house has been fun, but of course we were going to outgrow it. I mean, it's a tiny little garage. There's, you know, 6, 7, 8 of us now. So, you know, we're a growing company. It's tough to fit all those people, all the cars, all the work that we need to do into this little house.
Yeah, and in terms of just being relatable, I don't know how relatable it is to have an 8-person business running out of someone's house that has roommates. F's in the chat for Izzy and Kyle, who have put up with us for over a year now. I mean, they've been
Oxford Circle Tattoo, their tattoo shop.
Yeah, go give them some love. And you know, it's like at any given time, there's 6 people over here using one bathroom, starting loud cars, making an absolute just like mess of the place. I think you know, it's bittersweet, but
it's time.
It's time.
So before my landlord decided to evict me, I had to evict Big Time from my house, which meant we had to go office hunting.
Welcome to our new shop.
I've been there.
This is our shop. It was built in 1939. It's just over 6,000 square feet, and it's actually part of the historic industrial boom of Los Angeles in the early 1900s. Most of our district's buildings were constructed in the period between 1916 and 1949, drawn here by the strong demand for industrial space and the new Union Pacific Railroad line, which developed a lot of spur tracks to accommodate the burgeoning industrial side of Los Angeles. Even Ford set up one of their earliest manufacturing plants nearby. But post-World War II and into the 70s, economic growth began to decline alongside the use of the rail systems. Manufacturing in Los Angeles, well, it really disappeared. And like in most U.S. cities, the vacancies in space eventually led to space for new businesses and creatives just like us. Our building in particular used to be an art gallery.
And after that, it was actually the barracks office space. Yeah, that barracks, the skateboarding barracks, which is very cool and pretty indicative of how cool this neighborhood is.
The street is cool. You got Lean Customs on the end. Then you have the Vintage Japanese Motor Union. Then you have Accelerate, which is a school. We have the, do you know the transmission dude?
Rigo Ratio.
Rigo Ratio.
Yeah.
He's here.
Yeah.
And we got Jerry next door selling clothes.
Yeah.
2 Jerrys on the block.
Back-to-back Jerry's. I'm in trouble. So we feel very lucky. We're in a neighborhood that it seems like we might be able to make some noise in and not be hated.
Yeah. Maybe we do some street burnouts in the Catfish.
Okay.
Well, let's go show people the inside of this thing, because this is where all the fun is, right in here. And this is a door big enough for Bud.
That's right.
Bud is going to live right here, right in his nice little home, enclosed finally, so the elements aren't hurting him.
Yeah.
And then this space right here is going to be our future storefront. That's Andy. If you don't know Andy, he makes all of our clothes.
He's our store manager.
He's a huge part of Big Time.
Hey everyone, I'm Andy. This is gonna be the store, eventually. Our friends at Cactus Fabrication are gonna help us build out this entire store. So, I mean, we have a lot of space to work with. I'm not sure entirely what we're gonna do because we have a massive pile of dirt right there that's apparently been there for like 2 years, but every week it's gonna move.
I thought it was your office.
Yeah, you're gonna be in the dirt
That
hole.
is my office. So the dirt office is my office.
Come on, let's go take a look.
Let's go take a look at the dirt.
Let's go to the dirt hole. It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. If we don't shoot an ad for that in this hole before it gets filled in, we mess up.
The city is moving the power underground. So we had to dig 3 feet out into the street, and then the city's gonna meet us 3 feet the other way. So
it's like when they went and did the tunnel. The tunnel between France and England. We bring up the tunnel a lot, I feel like. And they're on the other side, and
Well,
they're just like
it's such a
touching.
feat of
They're
engineering.
touching. They're right there. They're meeting. Give me your hand. There we go.
I hate these.
Well, France is always a little behind.
We have to have 220 in this building. So if we want to run welders or lifts, stuff like that, they got to do it.
We need more juice.
We need more juice.
But it's in progress. Woo! As you guys can tell, I'm pretty excited about upgrading to a legit shop. But today's sponsor, Ridge Wallet, is also excited because they're upgrading to Ridge 2.0. The classic Ridge Wallet.
We want this wall forward. It's going to be the themed storefront that we can change at our will. This is going to be so much fun. We got these 2 beautiful glass windows, the roll-up glass door.
The perfect display.
Yeah. And Andy is going to work behind the counter selling merch.
Yeah.
I will crush.
I'm
so excited.
He will crush.
Yeah.
If you guys want me to open the store every single day, what should we do?
See? Andy's feeling like, oh, this is what happens when you say bits online. For real, people are now going to
I will
expect.
have the store open during every drop. How about that? To start.
Yeah.
So we do
24 hours a day.
Now the store is cool. This is the entranceway into the new Big Time studio / garage / office space. But the coolest part is behind this door.
This is where the party's at.
Look at that, baby.
The shop.
I don't remember that having a blood
We have
fall.
3 main garage doors here in the back, 3 bays that we can access. This is our biggest one.
Big wide. Oh, God.
Oh my goodness, and look who has come to pay us a visit.
What the hell?
Why, hello, Henry. Yeah, welcome.
Henry. This
The
is
view of
Kim.
the bridge is awesome.
Come on up. Just leaving that thing running, huh?
Yeah, leave it running. This is a safe neighborhood, right?
It's very safe. If you don't know Henry, he has a channel. It's called I Can Do That. He's one of our bestest friends, and I didn't know he was going to be here.
Guess he's just in the area. What are the odds?
What are the odds? And his new Sportage 4x4. Oh.
He's just hit that car?
Alright, you're fine. It didn't hurt anything.
Oh my god.
Alright, dude, nice entrance.
Good, that was perfect. Oh my god.
Yeah, you sure nailed that.
Well, okay, so
welcome, dude.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's a little bit, a little
It's a work
dusty.
in
It's a work in
progress.
progress. We're working on
Use
it.
a power wash and
Yeah.
then maybe some. Are you gonna do some fresh concrete in here?
We're gonna get this stuff polished.
So we're gonna do polished concrete. Right now it's painted, so they're gonna come in and scrape it, fill in all the low spots, cut off some of the stuff. Like this. So this used to have a big wall right here, separate it. We tore that down. But we have to figure out exactly where we're gonna put like office space and stuff. The boys have been working over here right now for the time being.
Hi, boys.
Hi, boys.
Are you excited? I'm very excited. Look at all this room for activities. Has that been said 1,000 times?
So here's what we're thinking for the shop space. I think we'll put one 2-post lift right here, just so that we have one. And then next to that, there will kind of be 2 workspaces. One lift, one flat bay, toolboxes all along the wall. And then probably over here will be most of like the fabrication stuff. You know, welders and benders and whatever else you need.
And then right here, next to that, I'm probably gonna have a motorcycle lift too.
And then probably right about here is where the pool table will go. Potentially 2 pool tables, I don't know, we're thinking about it.
Tool pool table.
Well, it's a toolbox and a pool table, so it's got drawers in it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because everyone needs not 1, but 2 pool tables.
Well, you want to have a 7 and a 9 foot because you don't want to, you never know what kind of tournament you're going to
Where's the golf simulator going?
Well, I think it's going to drop down from the ceiling.
I need to get closer.
And then my drum set's going over there. What do you want a pinball machine, Henry?
I'm thinking a little Hot Wheels racetrack.
How about just think of something even louder? Okay, just
I was thinking of something as childish as possible because you guys are just big old boys in a.
I just want
Oh, I'll tell you what, this floor is going to be good for skateboarding. Maybe we'll put a little mini ramp in.
Didn't this used to be the barracks?
The office space. There was not. I don't think there was a whole lot of skating going on here, but there's a bunch of like old stuff from the barracks, like doors that you would recognize. You can see skateboarders know what's going on here, but that is a piece of wall that you used to clean your wheels off with, or was actually skated on. Another thing that was left behind is this interesting art piece that we salvaged. It was on the walls that we took down, but we had them kind of try to maintain it because it's cool. Somebody spent a lot of time doing that by hand.
It's all Sharpie.
Now there's some other barracks items over in the poop hall.
It's a group field trip to the poop hall.
Group poop.
Come on, guys. We're all gonna poo together.
Come on, guys. Group poop.
We're actually going to have a line of urinals along this entire wall here.
Trough. Yeah. It's gonna be a trough, like it's in a football stadium from the 80s. Just one stainless steel trough.
And it's gonna
and you're allowed to look at everyone else's.
Those are the rules.
Okay.
Yeah, there's gonna be a mirror.
There's a mirror right here, and you can't look in the mirror.
We're only going to have a hole in the ground.
Squat. Yeah. Let's see your squat like this. Exactly. And then we're gonna be holding hands for support in case you
Trying to get as much use out of this part.
Did you show him the whiteboard?
No.
Do you want to see the whiteboard? So Barracks used to do a thing called Battle Commander. It's really cool. Antoine Dixon's on here. There's all these other names.
Do a kickflip.
Do a kickflip.
What is Battle Commander though?
Battle Commander was like a segment they did on their YouTube channel. And if you are watching this, Eric or Steve or whoever runs it, please bring back Buttery Ass Mondays. We all want to see it. We miss Donovan.
This is where I'll be hanging out with my boy, that cockroach. These are a bunch of doors from the barracks. You might recognize these. These are at the skate park. Which is pretty cool as somebody who grew up skateboarding.
You got water. It's cool.
Pokemon goes out and she goes and says, I miss when streaming was about gaming and not just drama baiting and clip farming. Well, what are you doing? We have to look at the history of Pokemon, okay? Pokemon got popular by being in full cam and having a larger than average camera on Twitch playing League of Legends. That's what you did. You did this. For years, you did this. Now, so if you're talking about streaming being just about gaming, you were the one that tried to edge streaming towards not being gaming more than anybody else. And by the way, I dated another girl that did the same thing. I'm not even complaining about this. I thought it was great. But you can't go and complain about the way the website is whenever you're one of the people that made it this way, right? But drama baiting and clip farming, this girl comments on drama all the time. She has opinions of drama constantly. So yes, and second reply, right? So it's the same thing. Oh, there it is. Literally the reason Twitch added the IRL streaming section, mods banned everyone else of the game for 20 minutes, but they let you run your Dr. Pokey segment, talking to your viewers out of game for hours. Yeah. So this is one of the things that people might not remember about Twitch, is that back in the day, Twitch actually used to have a rule where you could only stream video games. So you couldn't do any IRL, you couldn't do anything else other than stream video games. So like what a lot of people would do that were like kind of personality streamers back then, I think a great example of this would be Mitch, right? Is that Mitch, what he would do is he would just be in the WoW section running around the Dalaran talking to girls. So he would be in a video game, but only symbolically, right? He'd queue for one arena match every 2 hours, and that's about it. So yeah. And so, yeah, pretty hot tub.
That's
era
a
of
long
Twitch.
time.
Yes, this was
That was a
very
long
pre-hot tub
time
era
ago.
or anything else. So then Twitch added IRL, and then it just kind of got more and more extreme after that. And you had more and more people that were doing, personality-based content. So Pokemon was one of the first people that was doing that.
Keeper's beard. Quarry is overrun with Fungarians.
And whose fault is that? Your edict is to protect the Isle, not just the city, and not just the Oathsworn.
Sure, I'll take the bait.
You want to tell me how you became infected?
I was teaching a class there. I had just started a lecture on medieval philosophy. St. Augustine says that man must love because he is incomplete. Loving is an act of good, a unique human ability granted as a gift from a higher power. In St. Augustine's doctrine of love, he states that to not love is to be incomplete. To not love is to not be human. Excuse me. Hello? Hello? Yeah, hi, honey, look, I can't talk right now, all right? I'm busy, what? Wait, slow down. What's happening? Wait, honey, look, I'll call you back.
What happened to your family?
What?
Your family.
My family?
Yeah. You know what happened to them?
When the virus takes over your body, it's like every nerve has been stretched, sliced with broken glass, and doused in vinegar. But even in the throes of this pain, I was driven by one compelling thought. needed to see my family.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Honey, it's me. Look, I saw the news. Please call me back as soon as you can, okay? I love you.
God, you're safe. Oh, you're safe. I tried calling my mother, but all the circuits are busy. Honey. What's the matter?
I tore my wife's limbs from her torso like wings from a butterfly. She begged me to stop and cried out my name. But I couldn't until I ripped out her heart.
Daddy?
I wanted to tell her that I was no longer her daddy.
You're a goddamn animal.
Between the humans and the infected, who do you think is on the top of the evolutionary scale?
Not you.
See, I beg to differ. Our brains have been enhanced by the virus, therefore freeing us from the limitations of what you call human.
Where is patient zero?
Well, there is none.
The virus started somewhere. Where is he?
The rage. The rage started here, against the government. The rich, the poor, foreigners, intellectuals, conservatives, feminists, freaks, name it. That's where it came from.
Shut up.
We became so angry for so many good reasons, and for none. The virus has laid dormant in us since the beginning of time.
Shut up.
And the extremes of modern stress have caused it to awaken. Therefore,
Shut up.
we are all, in essence,
Shut up.
patient
Shut
zero.
up. Shut up.
Shut up, goddammit! See? We're not that different, are we?
It's pretty interesting. For a movie.
Today, we're building a real 2013 monster. Inside these boxes is a PC made entirely of top-tier AMD parts that cost a wild $5,000 back in the day. Let's start with the foundation, the CPU, the most powerful one, or rather factory overclocked, and of course, the most energy efficient, the AMD FX 9590, which launched in 2013 at $920. It's like AMD wanted you to cool a 250-watt CPU with a 50-watt stock cooler, and you were supposed to enjoy it. Obviously, this isn't the original box. Naturally, I went hunting for a high-end motherboard to keep power delivery sane and leave room for overclocking. But unfortunately, without a box, I managed to find this one. Gigabyte GA990 FXA UD7, manufactured in 2011-2012 with an original price of $250. AM3 Plus is almost the same socket as AM4, which basically means the Ryzens are rebranded AMD FX. You're welcome. Go live with that now. Speaking of rebranding, a subscriber wrote me that he bought a Ryzen 7 5800X3D twice. As you guessed, both were fakes. You can tell by the gilded arrow. I'm holding what's most likely a dead 1st or 2nd gen Ryzen because those had that big arrow. I really feel for the guy. He sank about $400. Moral of the story, don't buy from sketchy places. The XL ATX board is only a bit bigger than ATX, supports up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, and comes loaded with overclocker toys, power and CMOS reset buttons, a postcode readout. Power delivery is an 8+2 phase setup. And check out how many GPU slots there are. This thing was made for 3-4-way crossfire. I should probably drop the CPU in now before you get the urge to buy this Wonderwaff for your own overclocking adventures. For memory, of course I went top shelf. Judging by what I paid, it's still top shelf for the seller today. I grabbed 2 kits, so 4 sticks of G.Skill Trident X. At launch, they were $400 for 32 gigabytes with an XMP profile that, naturally, only works in dreams when you're running 4 DIMMs, but enough gloom and doom. Let's slot the sticks in like they've lived on this board their whole lives. As for the cooler, it's new, a Noctua NH-D15, which went for about $100 in 2014. I actually wanted an AIO from that era, but finding a working one from 2013, and in Ukraine no less, is a quest for a superhero. And from the tests I've seen online, this Noctua doesn't just keep up with liquid coolers, it's quieter too. That's me, by the way, expressing deep concern over a totally accidental fan slip out of my hand.
He's from Ukraine? This thing's gonna get fucking bombed.
The look, honestly, is an acquired taste, but the hardware quality is excellent. This is the trickiest box I've ever seen. And the other box is everything you need for installation. Even thermal paste, a screwdriver, and a metal badge. Even there, they're outdoing everyone. Figuring out how to mount it isn't that hard. Thankfully, there are 3 manuals. Even if you're not the sharpest tool in the shed, by the 3rd try, you'll realize you need to use the included, not super comfy screwdriver to remove the stock brackets in step 1 and keep the rear backplate so you can screw in these 4 donuts, or standoffs, and then attach these mounting bars. Turns out this mounting system is ancient. The new Deep Cool coolers use the same idea, and plenty of others do too. Obviously, a CPU covered in greasy fingerprints should be degreased. Boom! Minus.
Honestly, I'll be real honest. A Cool Master from back in that era would be fine.
Half a degree on the temp graph. Oh no! Looks like I couldn't help myself and touch the cooler's base, and didn't even catch it on camera. Hopefully I didn't trigger any perfectionists out there. Personally, I like spreading the thermal paste after applying it. I feel like it evens out better. To be honest, I spent 30 minutes solving the puzzle of how to clip the fans onto this cooler. And I'm not even talking airflow direction. I mean the basic, how do these clips latch on the fins part. Maybe I was just tired, but I can say for sure it doesn't look very presentable. Whatever, what matters is the cooler's on. Before we crack open this box, let me show you how to save a bit of money on all things online subscriptions. First, I'm grabbing a solid VPN. I use ExpressVPN. I want to watch a classic on Netflix. Full Metal Jacket. But PN for sponsoring this segment. For this build, I picked up a full tower case with the gloriously on-the-nose name Cooler Master Stormtrooper.
Hell yeah.
Pretty fitting for the times we live in. Back in 2013, it ran $190 and weighed 13.7 kilograms, which is
still
$100. The design is pretty interesting, especially the top with the carry handle. The case showed up seriously grimy, so I'm going to tear it down and give it a wash, and tell you about it along the way. Trust me, there's plenty to talk about. Up front, we've got 10 bays for whatever you might need, and down at the very bottom, a little drawer for your stash. Obviously, that's where the SNU's pucks go. The top cover, which for some
definitely
reason
a stash
reminds me of the
box.
movie Aliens, is plastic. Cable management will have to be redone. There's a 200mm exhaust fan on top. A couple of slot covers are missing, but I'm putting in more than one GPU anyway. And this thing? I have no idea why they even mounted it here. These oddly placed fans are meant to cool a bunch of hard drives, which we don't have and won't be using. A useful contraption like an optical drive was almost certainly added by the previous owner because I haven't seen such cutting-edge solutions in any photos online. Even in 2013, hardly anyone needed those anymore. Turns out these drive cages can be removed completely, which makes the case lighter and lets you install a video card an absurd 50 centimeters long. In other words, the chassis was clearly built 50 years ahead for components of any size. There are 3 dust filters. Very glad the previous owner didn't lose them because when I eventually sell this, I'm guaranteed to misplace something. The front panel doubles as a fan controller. Pretty neat, and I'll show you what it can do later. This is the so-called X-Dock, so you can pop 2.5-inch drives in and out without opening the PC. Super convenient for videographers shooting to SSDs, by the way. While I was taking apart the fan controller, I snapped about half the mounts. But as they say, if you don't take it apart, you won't break it. And breaking isn't exactly building. Plus, I kind of enjoy breaking things. Here's how many screws I managed to pull out of the case. Honestly, I lost touch with reality while disassembling it. There are parts everywhere. But time to go for a swim. Thankfully, this is the easiest part of a PC build. This shame badge is definitely coming off. I've never understood why people plaster random junk on their PCs and refrigerators. It just ruins the look. Maybe useful for covering scratches, and that's about it. Anyway, no doom and gloom. We've all had enough of that lately. Okay, now everything's clean and looking like new, and some pieces still have the factory film. Props to the previous owner for that. Still, I've got a lot of screws left to turn. I don't know why I'm torturing you with these shots. Tell me in the comments if you even like this kind of content where I show every single part in detail.
I'm not a
should I
fan.
just cut it out? I'm genuinely curious because when you film all this and then edit it, watching the same clips 10 times, you lose touch with reality and can't tell what's interesting anymore.
Oh.
Well, great. Went a bit overboard, but it's fine. Just a small crack. Apparently, these cages can also be installed this way, but I learned that too late, so I rebuilt it exactly like it was. Hopefully, I never have to take it apart again. That said, I do like this case. It was especially fun to lug around during the shoot.
You're never gonna use this thing again.
Finally, time to mount the motherboard. I don't understand where a true EATX board is supposed to fit here when even this board blocks the cable cutouts, though I didn't measure. Maybe it all does fit just fine. I bought 2 drives, one SSD and one HDD. The Samsung 480 Pro, 512 gigabytes, $600 in 2013. Yeah, I was shocked too, but that was cutting edge back then. The 4 terabyte HDD is a Seagate, $190 in 2013. Not much to say, far from the fastest, but the capacity is solid, especially for a home PC.
Yeah.
Here's hoping it won't drone too loudly.
You'll be loud
I'll try
as
plugging the
fuck.
SSD into the X-Dock for quick swaps. I hope it'll work. Power supply, Super Flower LEADX Platinum 1000 watts, $250 in 2013, as the name suggests. It's 80 plus platinum. The PCU itself is excellent,
2300
fun
watts, probably
manual,
$100.
fully modular. Hopefully it'll cover the whole build. In some spots, it's basically like new. I'll hook up the essentials now, and you'll see why I'm a little nervous about whether it can power the entire system, because obviously we're not stopping at one GPU. I'll also start tidying the cables.
1,000 watts,
Honestly,
you should be
cable
fucking fine,
management
bro.
here is about as easy as in modern cases. By the way, I originally planned on a different case, this one, and to restore it, but the seller turned out, quirky. We agreed on a price, I sent a deposit, and 3 days later he says he won't ship for that little money. So, yeah, wasted my time. Shame, because the case was cool. Good thing he at least refunded the deposit. Anyway, enough bad vibes. It's about to get better. The graphics card. This used to be the dream of many AMD diehards.
1080.
A subscriber, Dimitro, sent it. Massive thanks. Without him, this video would be way less interesting because you almost never see these used anymore. It's the legendary AMD Radeon R9 295X2, released in 2014 with a wild...
Does he... How much is that now?
$1,500 launch price. You'll be surprised what they go for on eBay now. But it's worth it, because this thing is an engineering showpiece. The second card, technically the third, will be one that's near and dear to me. The Radeon R9 290X 2013, $550 at launch. This turbine, by the way, spins at 5,000 RPM, but from the sound of it, you'd think it's doing 5,000 per second. This card is fire, literally and figuratively. As you've guessed, we're doing a so-called three-way crossfire. Not two, but three cards working on a single game. The combined rated draw of this Radeon Zoo is 790 watts, though in practice it's lower. Since the 295X2 is filthy, I decided to service it, and we'll peek at how it's built. Under the metal shroud are two Asetek water blocks. Rock solid stuff. Asetek makes liquid coolers for the big brands, and after 12 years, there's not a single leak. Everything about this card screams built for the ages. Almost no plastic, besides the fans, and the backplate isn't just metal, it's thick. I was going to replace the thermal pads, but after a look, these could last another 30 years. Just Celsius, so I'm going to try liquid metal. Of course, I overdid it. Good thing I started on the heatsink. It's easier to scrape off the excess there, assuming it'll even come off. Fingers crossed nothing shorts from the metal liquid, because finding another one of these would be a nightmare. And these custom screws in the case has a built-in fan controller. You can control fan speeds and toggle the lighting. Very cool. But let's jump into the BIOS and I'll show you what I overclocked. Yeah, the BIOS look kinda clashes with everything else here. For $250 on a motherboard. Yeah, that's, embarrassing. The best I could squeeze out of the clocks was 4.8 gigahertz per core, because the board lacks a pretty crucial setting: load line calibration. And the memory flat out refuses to run over 1600. Doesn't matter if it's 2 sticks or 4. At least I managed to tighten the timings. Here are the before and after overclock numbers. Nothing to write home about, but it is what it is. It pulls 240 watts from the wall just idling, and 1,100 watts under full load. So that 1 kilowatt PCU is basically tapping out. Here's what the drives are doing. And thinking about this SSD, once costing $600, makes me a little sick. The hard drive isn't special either, and it's slower than modern HDDs. I'll start with the crossfire test in GTA 5. Since 3 GPUs obviously outmuscle this CPU, I had to push the game to 1.5x 1080p. So 2880x1620. You'll say, you've got a nice monitor, why not set a proper resolution? Because this smart GPU doesn't have a single normal display output, so the display tops out at 1080p. And I can't route through the R9 290X, the one with sane ports, because then all 3 cards won't run in crossfire. Long story short, on a single card with these settings, you're looking at around 20 FPS.
Oh my god.
Impressive. Now we flip on crossfire with 2 cards, and the FPS literally doubles. That's what I call scaling. No extra stutter or hitching either. The tech works great. Ignore the choppy monitoring overlay. It's the overlay lagging, not the game. Add the third card and it's another plus 20 FPS. We're at 60 to 70. So with 3 cards, we got triple the performance of 1. Honestly, didn't expect that. The problem is we nudged past 4 gigabytes of VRAM, and with 3 cards, that triggered brutal stutters. If we hadn't hit the limit, it would have been perfect. Sadly, GTA 5 is the only game where I got all 3 GPUs to deliver true multiplicative FPS. Crysis 3 and BioShock scale too, but the CPU is just too weak to feel it. So let's move on and see what the CPU alone can do in modern games. For that, I'll let the Radeons take a nap and plug in a single RTX 4060, which, believe it or not, matches our 3 Radeons while sipping about 100 watts versus 500 to 600 watts for the trio. Firing up Crysis 3 on the 4060, and as you can see, the CPU is struggling. Constant FPS dips. In the new Kingdom Come, the frame rate is this. Overall playable, considering these are extreme settings. I tried launching Stalker, but those shaders, I never made it past the full compile. The game crashed out. Silent Hill, on the other hand, runs pretty well. And by pretty well, I mean more than okay for a 12-year-old CPU. You can even play The Last of Us Part 2 if you really want to. It does 40 to 45 FPS.
Yeah, why doesn't this guy leave Derry?
If you thought you knew everything about Pennywise, think again. Episode 4 of Welcome to Derry doesn't just peel back the curtain, it rips it wide open, revealing ancient horrors, forgotten sacrifices, and a cosmic origin story that changes everything we thought we understood about it. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Today, we're diving deep into the terrifying truth behind Pennywise's birth, the return of his so-called daughter, and the chilling secrets buried beneath Derry that finally begin to surface. This episode isn't just an origin, it's a warning, and by the end of it, nothing about this town will ever feel safe again. Why Pennywise can't leave Derry. Pennywise still hasn't appeared in physical form in It
No comments.
Welcome to Derry, but Episode 4 delivers the biggest and chilling mythology expansion the franchise has seen in decades. Instead of relying on jump scares or the familiar clown imagery, the show rewinds time and peels back the layers surrounding the creature's arrival, its cosmic origins, and the long-buried truth that explains why it is bound to the borders of Derry. These revelations fundamentally shift how we understand the entity across the novel, the films, and now the television continuity. The series builds on connections that were first hinted at in It Chapter 2, when Mike showed Bill the Shokapaiwa tribe's ritualistic visions tied to the origins of the being that would later take the form of Pennywise. Those sequences were brief, surreal flashes, but Welcome to Derry takes that seed and expands it into a fully realized historical narrative. Through the psychic probing of Taniel's memories by Dick Halloran, we finally witness the tribe's earlier encounters with the creature they called the Galoo, and the ancient struggle that shaped the town's fate long before the Losers Club ever existed. The Shokapaiwa's first encounter with the cosmic monster. Episode 4 reveals that more than a millennium ago, a monstrous entity fell from the sky encased in a blazing cosmic star. When the comet struck the land that would become Derry, the shell cracked open and released the Deadlights. Its true form, the Shokapaiwa quickly learned two terrifying truths. The entity was beyond comprehension, and fragments of the fallen star were the only things it feared. These glowing shards pulsed with energy and seemed capable of harming the creature. For centuries, the tribe managed an uneasy coexistence by avoiding the western woods, the area the Galoo claimed as its hunting territory. As long as they respected this boundary, they remained safe. This fragile balance lasted until settlers arrived and refused to heed the tribe's warnings, triggering a catastrophic shift in the creature's behavior and unleashing a cycle of violence that would plague Derry forever. The star that brought Pennywise, and the prison that contained it. The new episode reinterprets the cosmic origin first hinted at in the films. Not only did the star bring Pennywise to Earth, it served as its prison. The Shokapaiwa realized this after seeing how the creature reacted to the fragments left behind at the crash site. Using one of these pieces, the tribe crafted a dagger capable of wounding it, but they still avoided its territory. They warned settlers of the danger, but their warnings went ignored. The settlers entered the western woods, became prey, and inadvertently strengthened the creature through fear. As the Galoo's power grew, the tribe recognized that it would eventually expand its hunting grounds beyond the woods. Many prepared to flee the region, convinced there was no way to contain or kill the monster. How Nakani became the first loser to fight Pennywise. One young girl refused to accept defeat. Nakani believed the tribe could kill the Galoo with the dagger forged from the star's remains. Gathering a group of brave children, she ventured into the woods on a desperate mission to save her people. Their courage mirrors what the Losers Club would attempt centuries later, children uniting to face an unspeakable cosmic threat. When the parents discovered the children were missing, they mounted a rescue mission led by Sesqui, Nakani's mother. But once they entered the woods, they met the creature in one of its most nightmarish forms, a demonic moose, towering and grotesque. The Galoo slaughtered most of the rescue party, leaving Sesqui alive just long enough for the creature to taunt her. Taking the form of a priest with a horrifying infant embedded in his stomach, it delivered a psychological and physical blow that remains one of the most unsettling sequences the show has depicted. Nakani arrived too late to save her mother, but witnessing this tragedy only strengthened her resolve.
What happened?
The 13 Pillars, Derry's real border, revealed. Determined to protect future generations, Nakani and her friends returned to the crash site and collected 13 shards of the fallen star. They buried each shard in a circle around the western woods, marking every site with fire. These shard sites became pillars, forming a supernatural boundary that trapped the Galoo inside its hunting ground. As long
Whack. Okay.
Okay everyone, today's story is actually pretty damn big. So here's what's going on, right? Players are getting refunds for Call of Duty this year, and it's not because of the absurd campaign or some sort of matchmaking disaster. No, they are demanding their money back because they're finding the game is filled with AI-generated art that was never mentioned in the marketing. And what matters there is they're actually getting the refunds. But it's not just Call of Duty, because Ubisoft is also under fire. And that's because while we're talking about AI slop, right, the real problem isn't necessarily the output. It isn't necessarily the intents that people say. Really, we should start looking at what people actually do, and we should look at the process, because in reality, it's the management of these companies that are getting just as sloppy as the games. Alright, so this year's Call of Duty is once again full of generative AI slop, because whenever I think Call of Duty, I think of piss, filter, poisoned, Ghibli-adjacent fantasy art of some peasants impressing a guard by catching a catfish. Yep, that's Call of Duty alright. And the images you're seeing right now are basically those of calling cards. They're floating around social media in the wake of the Black Ops 7 launch, because people have looked at them and thought, oh my god, what the hell is this? It's weird, tonally mismatched stuff that bears all the hallmarks of cheaply produced and barely reviewed generated art. And look, this isn't some blind see AI get really angry thing. No, sure, there's people who could probably do this stuff tastefully. What actually matters is this is a
garbage.
Huge set of games where it's not being done tastefully, and that's actually happening at scale. Now, the funny thing about this with Call of Duty is that after the mess of Black Ops 6, audiences kind of expected this stuff, right? We all expected the generic Steam AI disclosure thing. We all expected Activision responding to the news outlets, confirming something that they didn't do anything wrong and denying anything that they could have done wrong. And the reason why is actually because we've already had all of this happen this very year. It all went down back in August, where Associate Creative Director Miles Leslie told IGN that everything Gen AI that people saw in Black Ops 6 was there, quote, by accident, and that was never the intention. And the claim that he makes is that these are basically just tools to help artists, but that the outputs are never to make it in-game. So that would mean that, say, our many-fingered zombie Santa friend was only meant to be a placeholder, never should have shipped. You know, just a placeholder asset meant to sit there and reflect the vibe that the artists wanted, until eventually a human could come in and replace it. Now, look, I'm happy enough to steelman this guy's position, and I'm all for artists having better tools and less drudgery in their job. But this keeps on happening, and I think that means we should be quite a bit more suspicious. So when I said it keeps happening, obviously that's right for Call of Duty, but it's also an industry-wide thing. First, there's a game that I should love, and that's Anno 1117 Pax Romana. Should be a bright spot on Ubisoft's calendar, but there are problems with the game, sadly. There's an unfinished campaign, some odd art decisions, and for today's purposes, an AI art problem. You see, Anno's art tends to be gorgeous, right? And that's why seeing it replaced with a thoughtless imitation with no experiential humanity behind it is a big nope for me. That's the type of art where, even if it was to look pretty, it just wouldn't evoke a feeling in me. So here's actually what went down with this. Something in these loading screens caught people's eye. Basically, something was up. They were off-putting. We saw these renderings of somewhat human-shaped shadow figures. And no, this is not a Ghost Adventures episode, just random-ass shadow figures. Now that led to people then checking for the Steam AI disclosure. The disclosure was there, and of course it's a first for the Anno series. Now, I want you to remember that this is all happening at the same time that Ubisoft are catching some flack for allegedly machine translating the German language options for the game. So yeah, the Germans aren't pleased, and I suspect that also extends to the official Germans, by which I mean the government. I say that because the German government awarded Ubisoft a 5.7 million euro cultural development grant in 2023. So they probably won't like the look of this weird slop job with the damn German translation. Now, admittedly, that grant's likely because the game's development team is a large German employer, and that would mean that the government would want to back them. But hey, if you're a French publisher making a historical strategy game, do I really have to say it? Don't piss off the Germans. Come on, it keeps on going badly when we do that. But jokes aside, it is a bad look on both counts, and that is why Ubisoft did actually respond to things. So according to them, the offending scenes were just generative AI placeholders that slipped through review. Now, they just slipped in, but thankfully now they are being fixed. But when you actually look at the fixes, you see they're not done in a way that would inspire hope, because they're just touching up the offending mistakes with what's there, rather than replacing it fully, which I think suggests that whenever push comes to shove, yeah, they actually are happy to just do the quick, dirty thing and cut some corners. Can't imagine any of us find that particularly surprising, but what's maybe more surprising is just how sloppy they're getting and how far the standards are falling. So look, it's not necessarily the technology itself that is turning people's stomachs. It can also be the use of that technology, and in this case, the sheer sloppiness, the lack of care. Now, we've heard the placeholder excuse multiple times this year. Hell, even Expedition 33. Yes, that game, even it fell foul of it. Basically, there was an in-game poster that was found, turned out to be a placeholder, and it was replaced a week after launch. I suppose it's the more innocuous of today's three main examples. But here's basically what happens. Devs use generative AI tools to create a almost production-ready asset. They then populate the game. They put those assets in, and you know what? Because they've used the quickly made AI placeholder thing, actually, when the placeholders are in, they probably do get a bunch of the vibe that they're looking for. But then what happens is, there's a release date for the game. There is a rush to ship. And that can mean that those assets may never get replaced. So you can see why they do it. You can even see some benefits over the traditional style of placeholder, which was meant to be so egregious and obvious that you really just couldn't ship them. You know, just a blank texture saying delete me or something. That would mean that people would notice the placeholder is there and it wouldn't get shipped. And sometimes, yeah, a mistake would happen. Something would slip in. Maybe a wrong build is uploaded or human error happens. Now that happens even without Gen AI built placeholders, but when the placeholders, if you were to sort of squint your eye and look at them, almost look like the finished product, then it's a lot harder to get that part of the process right. And look, not everyone hates Gen AI on principle. That's a totally fine thing to think, by the way. I mean, if people broadly did, we wouldn't be praising Game of the Year nominee Expedition 33, which did decide to use that stuff as a part of its pipeline. Right? Not intended to be final results, but as a part of its pipeline. So here's the thing, right? Plenty of people will tell you that if you hate Gen AI, that's okay, just don't buy those games. Right, easy enough. There's tons of options out there. And sure, audiences do have different standards. We actually saw that recently with Arc Raiders, where some people drew their personal line there, others didn't, and that is completely okay. Almost all things are actually a spectrum of belief. This isn't some binary AI good, AI bad thing. But what I would say is that when the product itself becomes messy, or the company doesn't seem to care, or appears to be disrespectful player time, well then it is so much easier to shift a player's position on that spectrum. And that's why even if they do want to use these tools, the industry has got to hold themselves to a higher standard. Because whenever the generative AI placeholder art isn't replaced, and is just tidied or updated, it's actually kind of clear that functionally, those ended up not being placeholders. They actually were just a cut corner that the company got away with. And pretending otherwise, I think, is what's actually frustrating people here. Thus far, we've covered a big reason why people are frustrated, but I'd actually wager it goes far, far, far deeper than that. So let's dive in. Some people are fine with Gen AI whenever it is intentional or feels thoughtful. Now, you may remember the Screen Actors Guild voice actor strike. Just before that came to an end, Epic Games unveiled a chatbot-powered Darth Vader NPC for Fortnite. Now, Epic used James Earl Jones's voice with his family's blessing, and then they ran it through an LLM trained on scraped internet text, which is why we could have Darth Vader reciting the story of Kingdom Hearts to us.
Very well, Sky. But I will not stop until I get to 200 sentences. The tale begins on the Destiny Islands, where young Sora and his friends Riku and Kairi dream of exploring new worlds beyond their idyllic home.
Bit of a strange thing. Maybe just like how Anno could approximate some Roman art, or Call of Duty could try to ape the Ghibli style, and people were mostly fine with it for Fortnite. But from what I can tell, with COD and Anno, it has hit people completely differently, and I think that's what gets us to the heart of this issue. What's different then? Well, I would say Vader was intentional as a product experience. That sounds very buzzwordish, but what I mean is, it was a toy in a live service game like Fortnite. It was dropped, people did unhinged things for the first little while, they found the limits, stuff was patched up, but basically that was kind of the point. Goofy Vader was the sell, and they had permission from all of the major people involved. To be honest, the easiest way I can put this is, it was honest about being a form of throwaway funny slop. And I think that meant that people weren't as outraged, especially because of the permissions. Now, with that in mind, no wonder more people could gel with something like that than, say, the abominable new Coca-Cola ads. Because, yeah, Fortnite Vader is a pale imitation, but it's a silly little toy, and that was kind of the point. What Coke were doing with the recent advert that's pissed people off, well, that's just a cheap imitation of a real thing that we actually had, where its levels of glitz and glam and detail and lighting are so over the top that it doesn't feel real anymore. That's a huge part of why it comes off uncanny. It makes it seem like the creatives involved are working for the tool, rather than the tool working for them. And that's where COD and Anno are vital to today's story, because these, in my view, aren't really placeholders. I gotta say, allegedly in my opinion, but you may have heard the term, the purpose of the system is what it does, which does strip away some of the intent and focuses a little bit more on the end product, which here is useful because that's the bloody thing we buy. Because those assets are still in there, even though, when you look at them, they are clearly out of place things that feel cheap. They are just, especially in, say, Call of Duty, stuff. Slop. Almost the definition of slop. And it's clear the management of these studios don't care enough to pay for real art in the first place. Or maybe thought they could just cut some corners.
They thought they could get away with it. This is kind of a big deal. Marjorie Taylor. I mean...
So she, for the longest time, was like a super, like, big Trump person. She would wear, like, a Trump hat in Congress, shit like this.
She's
like, she was...
She's a
you know,
swapper,
she was a big fan of Trump. And she deviated from the acceptable line of thought. Naturally, Now she's a traitor. Here's what I think is kind of funny. You're resigning on January 5th, 2026, a whopping 5 years and 2 days after being sworn in. This happens to be the bare minimum to lock in the taxpayer-funded congressional pension for life. Resigning 2 days after her congressional pension vests.
Nice. I didn't know about that.
Very convenient. Let's watch the video.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And just never fit in.
Right.
Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more.
No, this is what happens, is that I'm going to explain how that works. So basically, you're going to have, let's go like this, right? And we'll make it a little bit bigger. All right, so we'll go like this, and then we'll go like this. Okay, and so the graph here is called quality of life, okay? And here's what happens, is that you start with a Democrat, and things get worse. And so you hope that you can vote for a Republican and then things will get better. But then they don't, so they get worse. And then you think, okay, well, we're going to vote for a Democrat because the Republican didn't make things better. And then they get worse. And then you think, well, this Democrat didn't fucking do anything. All right, well, we're going to vote for a Republican this time. Then things will get better. But then they get worse. And then so now you have a Republican, so you think to yourself, okay, well, you know what we need to do? We need to get a real Democrat in here like we used to have all the way back up here. And then if we do that, now things will get better. And so they vote for a Democrat. And then things get worse. And so then after that, they think, all right, well, listen, we've had Democrats a long time, but does anybody remember the good old days of Reagan or George Bush? Well, you know what we need to do? We need to vote for a Republican. So then they vote for a Republican, and then things get worse. This is it. This is welcome to the last 50 years.
Basically.
This is it. That's what happens. That's the reason why it ping-pongs back and forth behind the different parties. Because neither one of them deliver on their promises, neither one of them improve the quality of life, and they all are basically surviving on ping-ponging nostalgia from the previous president that they mistakenly believe was actually trying to help them, but at the time, the previous president made it worse themselves. So that's it. That's what's happened.
And the results are always
fucking
the
accurate,
same.
I'd say.
No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman.
No, they don't.
The debt goes higher, corporate and global interests...
Oh, and by the way, every graph supports what I'm saying. All of the graphs agree with me.
...remain Washington's sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas, or just shipped overseas.
Yep, she's right.
Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline.
That's right.
Yeah, but
the
what are you
average
even
American
saying?
family
Like,
can no
we already
longer
know
survive on a single breadwinner's income,
Well, this has been the case for 40 years.
as both parents have to work in order to simply survive.
Exactly.
And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream.
It's because they won't, because you got to be asleep. That's the reason why. There are some people that will be successful, but the reality is that that number is getting smaller, and the barrier to entry for a life of dignity is becoming higher every single year. It will become harder and harder to live a life of dignity. It's harder now than it was 10 years ago. It was harder 10 years ago than it was 20 years ago. And 10 years from now, it will be even harder than it is today.
And that breaks my heart.
That's the way it is.
I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative...
Why would you think that if Trump has never said anything negative about Israel? And if you can think of one negative thing that Trump said about Israel, you can find 50 other positive things that he said about it. Trump has said even before he was president that he would push on having a war with Iran. He said he was going to end wars already. Like, I feel like with that, he's definitely delivered on it. Now, you can make the argument that like he didn't say these certain things about China, etc. But I would say that in a lot of cases, he's actually been relatively I think he's been relatively globalist. I mean, not entirely, and much less than like somebody like Obama, for example, but he's been relatively globalist for a very long time.
Voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies, because I believe God creates life at conception.
That's nice.
And I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders. I have fought hard for that.
Yep.
I fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations. And I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars.
What about
However,
Israel?
with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time. And we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives.
Sure.
During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies.
It's fucking ridiculous. Brother, Israel is considered the only bastion of the West of the Middle East. I wouldn't say globalist if they think of it as an extension of the West. Why the fuck do we need a bastion in the Middle East? Let them do whatever the fuck they want. It's not our problem.
Why do we need a bastion in the Middle East? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Who the fuck decided that we need to be meddling and micromanaging all these people in the Middle East? I don't want to micromanage Iran. We can bomb them if they're going to make a nuke. Yeah, sure. But other than that, fuck them. I don't want to micromanage Saudi Arabians and fucking Iranians and Palestinians and like, what are we doing?
Like, what? What are you saying?
What a waste of money and time. Anyway, that's what my opinion is, okay? My other opinion about healthcare is true. Yeah, it's awful. Healthcare is fucking terrible. And it's going to get worse.
The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television every single day.
Absolutely.
My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw a new district.
Based, by the way. Imagine being against only counting citizens. If you're against that, you're not an American. If you're against that, you should be deported. Get them out.
Making English the official language of the U.S.,
which happened,
making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating.
I'm gonna be honest, like I like that's 100% alignment for me. Like I am a 100% on that. Every single one of those, absolutely.
Eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home, and eliminating H-1B visas. Just sit. They all sit collecting dust.
I don't think you should eliminate all H-1B visas. I think that's too broad of a brush. But I think you should probably eliminate the majority of them. Like if an H-1B visa is being found is found to just simply being undercutting workers in America, then that's a problem. If it's actually bringing in a person that we have a labor shortage for, then that's more reasonable. I think you should have a little bit more of a measured approach on the H-1B visa thing. That's my opinion, personally. Like, I agree in principle, but not necessarily in practice categorically.
That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points.
People have been, and I think this is the reason why Trump and, what's his name, Zoran Mandami won, is that voting for those guys was a big fuck you. It's not about, yeah, oh, wow. So we're going to get this rapper that lived with his mom and he never had a job and he's going to run the state or the city. Okay. Why? Because fuck you. That's why. Yeah, we're going to get this orange buffoon that he's going to say he's going to build a wall everywhere and he's going to end all the wars. And, you know, this reality TV star, we're going to have him be the president now. Why? Because fuck you. That's why. Yeah. If you are not willing to do that, you will never achieve your goals. Because the people that are running things need to be terrified of their constituents. They need to be afraid to betray them. And right now, the constituents are afraid to betray the politicians. What a disgusting inversion. Should have never happened.
Because they know how much credit card debt they have.
I'm not talking about killing them or anything like that. I'm talking about the voters holding them accountable for making bad decisions.
They know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years.
It's so obvious.
They actually do their own grocery shopping and no food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house.
The fact that corporate businesses can own these residential homes, and this has been an exploit that's been going on for like a decade now, is a disgrace. It is an absolute disgrace to the entire fucking...
Yeah, we need to patch that.
To the entire country. This should have been immediately shut down 10 years ago. That's why lobbying should be shut down. You're always going to have money. I agree with you, but you're always going to have money find a way.
Yeah.
MTG has construction interests. Yeah, well,
okay.
If she could be biased, but she's still right. Like, yeah, maybe she's doing this for money, but like she's still right with what she's saying. It's still accurate what she's saying.
They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big six-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid. These are the people I represent and love because that is who all of my family and friends are.
Absolutely.
Common Americans. I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans. I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he facilitated dangerous open border invasion into America. And I led the effort to defund hard-left politically biased NPR and PBS and the corrupt USAID, and I did that as
absolutely fucking unfathomably based. Completely defund them. They're worthless garbage that's been turned partisan. I would completely get rid of these people.
Used to be good,
absolutely.
but now terrible.
Chair of the Doge subcommittee. I have fought harder than almost any other elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time with my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare. Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him in the back and never defended him against anything have all been welcomed in right after the election.
I think that's what you should do, though. Like, I mean, the thing is that you do have a huge problem of a lot of, and this is politicians. This isn't like Republicans or Democrats don't